Next, a party with tight security. 40,000 people turned out this weekend in Paris to protest the French president's economic reforms and what they're calling a party for Macron. The heavy policing is a result of this week's May Day rallies that did turn violent. Now, although this event generally passed off without incident, at least one police officer is reported to have been injured. Charlotte Dubensky is among the protesters.
So the police have just moved into the Bastille area, which is the end part of the protest today. They have started making what seem to be some arrests so far. That's after some of the protesters damaged a van. You might be able to see it in the distance, smashing the screen, and they also attempted to set it on fire. There are around 2,000 gendarmes and police out in force in Paris today to try and keep the violence at this protest to a minimum after the violence that was witnessed on the May Day protests on Tuesday, when almost 200 people or so were arrested from a crowd of around 1,200 ultra-militant leftists, as they were described by the police. Now, you may be able to see behind me some of the people have covered their faces. They're generally people who describe themselves as being anti-capitalist, anti-fascist, and they don't want to be seen and identified. Now, many of the people came here to protest against the policies of the Macron government over the last year. That's because on Monday it is a year since he was elected. For the moment, it feels like it is quite a calm but tense standoff between the police and the protesters here, as the police have moved in to try and protect this area where the protesters had been trying to damage some of this property. But as you can probably hear, they're describing the police in their chants as being racist, and these are people who tend to hate the police. I mean, normally we hear them saying all the world hates the police, but you get a sense of that tension of these protesters who initially came here to protest against that year in power of Mr. Macron. But what they are is against the system, capitalism, and pretty much anything that go against the natural form of what they want. And what they want, they've said in the past, is to bring that power to the street.